The receptionist squinted at her screen, then back at me. I'm sorry. What was your name again? I gave her a smile that barely moved my mouth. Elena Ward. Director of Operations. I usually come in around 6:30. Her fingers danced uncertainly over the keyboard. She was new, maybe 3 weeks in. Probably thought this was just a glitch. I watched her eyes skim the screen, her face slacken into practiced politeness. I don't see your profile here. Let me call someone. I already tried my badge. Downstairs, I said, keeping my tone calm. Security had to buzz me up. They told me to check with you. She nodded quickly, picked up the desk phone, punched a number. Hi, it's Taylor at reception. I have someone here, Elena Ward? She says she's, oh. I see. I heard it. The pause. The moment a script gets handed to someone mid-sentence, she hung up gently. Mr. Grant is on his way down. He'd prefer to speak to you directly. Of course he would. I turned from the desk and looked at the lobby. Same gray tile. Same polished silence. I had spent 6 years in this building. Gave it more than I gave my marriage, if we're being honest. The elevator dinged behind me. Elena, Elliot said, as if he were greeting me at a damn fundraiser. He was immaculate, as always. Italian suit, not a wrinkle in sight. His tie was cobalt, a power color. His smile was a blueprint. You're early, he said, so are you. I crossed my arms. Didn't expect to be stopped at reception. I figured we should talk before the day really starts. He gestured to the glass-walled conference room just off the lobby. Privately. I walked ahead of him, the door clicked shut behind us. I turned. Is there a reason my badge was deactivated? Yes, he said, just that. One syllable, delivered like a handshake. You want to elaborate? He took a slow breath. We've made some changes. A strategic restructuring, effective. This morning. Your position was erased. He tilted his head, still so measured. Reassessed. You had dinner at my house 2 weeks ago, Elliot. My voice didn't rise. I didn't need it to. You toasted my promotion. Called me the spine of this company. I meant it. No, you didn't. He sighed, stepped closer. Elena, it's not personal, don't insult me. He stopped. His jaw tightened. I built your logistics system. I cleaned up the licensing fallout in Q4. I flew to Zurich on 3 hours' notice to deal with your little PR implosion. And you didn't even call me into your office for this? He glanced toward the window, as if someone might be watching. We needed to move fast. Legal advised, legal always advises. I took 1 step toward him. But you choose. I'm offering severance. 6 months. Generous. You're offering silence, I said. He didn't flinch, but he didn't deny it either. You always hated that I knew what you were covering up, I said. That I knew which vendors got kickbacks, which contracts were buried under piles of shell invoices. You thought I was loyal because I never leaked. You were loyal. I was smart, I corrected. I understood leverage. I also knew the timing wasn't right. He moved past me, sat at the edge of the table. Look. If you want a recommendation, I'll write it today. You think I came in for a letter? His eyes flickered. Then what are you here for? I stepped close. Too close for him to feel in control. I came for my desk. My notes. My records. They're already packed. Security will escort you up, then out. How efficient. He didn't answer. I wonder, I said softly, what the board would think if they saw the emails I flagged last year. The ones marked confidential. The files we tagged under internal optimization. You remember those? His lips thinned. Do you have copies? He asked, the cool slipping just a little. You know I do. Elena, if you're threatening me, I'm reminding you. You're not untouchable. He straightened. I gave you a chance to leave with grace. No, I said. You gave me a velvet box and expected me to thank you for the knife inside. We stood there, quiet. His fingers tapped once on the table. Take your box. Take the 6 months, he said. You walk. Now, or you make this ugly. I leaned in, close enough to see the pores under his perfect skin. Ugly is my specialty. The door creaked as I opened it. Taylor looked up, startled. Send someone to the 17th floor, Elliot told her tightly. She'll need her things. I didn't look back. I sat across the street in the cafe where I used to take late calls and drink cold espresso. The view of Adelanteca's glass facade hadn't changed. But the office had. Do you want anything else? The barista asked. I shook my head. She left the untouched tea alone. Through the second-floor window, I saw her. Brown blazer, glossy hair, posture like she was being filmed. Marina Vale. I only knew the name because Rafa texted it to me that morning with a one-word caption, incoming. She was laughing. Not a throwaway giggle, full teeth, head tilted, elbows on my desk like it had always been hers. Elliot leaned over her shoulder. His hand touched the back of her chair. I watched it settle, casual, practice.my fingers tightened. Around the ceramic cup, figured you might be watching, a voice said beside me. I didn't look up. You're late. Rafa slid into the seat across from me. His hoodie was zipped halfway, glasses fogged from the rain. She started at 10, he said. Orientation by HR, then Elliot walked her in. She knows? She thinks you left. Voluntarily. I nodded once. Of course she does. She brought her own mug. Lavender ceramic with some quote on it. Very girl boss. That's not coffee in it. Green tea. Of course it was. I glanced at him. How long before she realizes what he is? Rafa adjusted his glasses. She won't. She's the type who calls it mentorship. I watched Marina pull out a tablet, swipe quickly, then nod as Elliot gestured at the wall. Probably walking her through a fake crisis. She's sharp, Rafa added. Tech fluent. But she doesn't know the back end yet. She asked where the migration logs were. I told her they were in cold storage. She looked confused. That's because I never put them there, I said. He smirked. Exactly. Any heat from legal? None. Your access is gone, but your footprint isn't. Elliot thinks IT wipes things like memory. He forgets I have a few mirrors running. You keep any of the logs I flagged last quarter? All of them. Plus your version histories. I labeled them under Project Veil. I blinked. You didn't. Gotta teach the kid what she's sitting on. He leaned forward. Want me to drop something into her sandbox? No, I said. She's not the enemy. Yet. She's just where I used to be. He looked at me for a moment. Then back out the window. You still want back in? I shook my head. I want balance. And a scalpel. He nodded slowly. Surgical. Got it. Marina was standing now, holding a notepad, nodding as Elliot pointed at something on the screen. Her shoes were sharp. Mine had been flats, always. Practical. Anchored. She'll think he values her, I said. Until she says something inconvenient. She's already echoing him. Quoting his phrases. Momentum without risk is just inertia. That kind of crap. I almost laughed. God, I hated that one. She's drinking the Kool-Aid, he said. She's 28. She thinks it's champagne. I turned back to Rafa. Did you clean my personal folder? No. I moved it to a dummy directory. Nothing traceable. If she clicks it, she'll see an archived ops doc with Elliot's signature approving a bonus you never got. That'll crack the glaze a little. She's not stupid. Just misled. She'll learn. Rafa hesitated. You want her to? I didn't answer right away. I watched Elliot's hand hover near Marina's shoulder again. She didn't flinch. I want her to understand, I said. Before it costs her what it cost me. He sat back. What do you want me to do? Next. Nothing visible. Just make sure the rot shows up where it needs to. He nodded. Whispers or thunder? Raindrops, I said. Enough of them, and the ceiling collapses. He smiled. Poetic. I'm tired of being practical. I stood. Elliot glanced toward the window but didn't register me. Just another reflection in the glass. You sure you don't want your chair back? Rafa asked. I've got a better seat now. Front row? No, I said. Director's cut. Then I walked out, leaving the tea behind. ***. I didn't look back. Not when the elevator closed. Not when I passed the lobby desk. Not even when the city swallowed the building behind me. 2 blocks east, I found a narrow cafe with scratched marble tables and slow jazz bleeding through the speakers. Nobody looked at me twice. I picked the far corner. Opened my laptop. Still works, came the message bubble. Rafa. I typed back. For now. He replied instantly. Back up your archives. They haven't locked you out yet. I didn't ask how he knew. Instead, I logged in operations. Still there. Access logs, open. My name still threaded through the permissions, like a ghost nobody had cleared. Thanks, I typed. You've got 20 minutes, tops. I started the download. My old folders, the hidden mirrors, the flagged inconsistencies Elliot insisted were internal adjustments. A quiet parade of memory and misdirection. I watched the progress bar crawl forward like it knew it was committing treason. A new message popped. They don't know how much you remember, do they? I paused. Then typed, no one ever does until it's too late. A waitress stopped at my table. Can I get you anything? Earl Grey. Hot. She nodded and left. I kept working. Another ping. They'll spin this fast. Marina's already updating the org chart. Your name's gone, let them rewrite the story, I typed. I'm just saving the footnotes. That's not your style. It is now. 3 folders failed. I retried them. Conflicted process, the system said. I opened the task manager, traced the hang-up point. One of the files was being accessed, remotely. Someone's watching the ledger doc, I messaged. Kill sync, Rafa shot back. Isolate. Pull local. I unplugged the Wi-Fi, dropped into offline mode. The download sputtered, then resumed. Safe. Local. Quiet. I breathed. The tea arrived. I wrapped my hands around the cup, stared out the rain-blurred window. The city didn't care. Neither did the people huddling under umbrellas or rushing past puddles. And that was the beauty of it, vanishing in plain sight. A minute later, Rafa's name lit up again. Need a destination. For what? The U that comes next. I stared at the message. The cursor blinked. Waiting. Not yet. I typed fair. Just don't wait for a title to mean movement. The download dinged. Complete. I stared at the folder. Every keystroke, every invoice, every off-the-record memo. They thought I'd walk away clean. Instead, I walked away armed. I zipped the archive. Encrypted it. Sent a copy to a cold address I hadn't used in 5 years, then I powered down, slid the laptop into my bag. Rafa's final message blinked. You disappeared well. They'll never see you coming. I smiled, left a tip on the table, and stepped into the rain. Asterisk. The drive was cool in my hand. Slim. Unremarkable. It fit into the cafe's USB port like a key into a familiar lock. I clicked it open, folder by folder. The truths lined up. The emails weren't encrypted. They didn't even bother hiding them, just buried in an admin loop. Elliot thought no one would question. I opened the first one. Subject, transfer schedules. Excom approval from Elliot Grant to J. Loden, Arf Carver. Move the remaining offshore line through the Cyprus account. Do not CC Elena. Keep her looped out unless I say otherwise. She was useful. Until she wasn't. My stomach didn't turn. My hands didn't shake. I just read it again. And again, then I opened the second subject, Ops transition from Elliot Grant to HR cluster. Marina's eager and pliable. Keep her engaged. She won't push back. Not yet. I stared at the word pliable. I remembered the tilt of Marina's head. The practiced laugh, the way she angled her body toward him like the sunlight came from his teeth. He knew exactly what he was grooming her for. I had been her, once. The third email was older. Subject, internal audit concerns from me to Elliot Grant. We need to review vendor account 332B, flagged 6 disbursements with mismatched routing. Possible front. His reply came in under a minute. Not your lane. Focus on Q2 projections. I'd let that go at the time. Too many fires. Too much loyalty now. It felt surgical. I copied the 3 emails into a separate folder. Labeled it useful. Attached them to a draft addressed to myself, encrypted the rest of the drive, then disconnected it. Rafa's message popped up again. How bad? I typed back. He knew what he was doing. For years. Of course he did. He called me useful. Past tense. A pause. Then, what broke? My tolerance. I closed the laptop. The hard drive stayed on the table. I stared at it like it might still whisper. My phone lit up. Unknown number. I answered anyway. Elena, Elliot's voice said, too smooth, too calm. I was just informed someone accessed legacy admin folders. Want to tell me why that pings back to your credentials? Sure, I said. Because they're still active. Oversight, maybe? Come on. Let's not play games. You always liked games. Especially ones where the other player doesn't know the rules. A pause. Just one beat too long. I'm willing to be generous, he said. If you're smart about this. Define generous. Walk away. Let it go. You'll receive a second payout by Friday. Clean severance. No clause. No clause. I repeated, I mean it. I won't come after you. That's funny. Why? Because I already left, I said. But now I'm thinking of walking back in. You don't want that, he said. This doesn't end the way you think it will. I'm not thinking. I'm remembering. A silence. Longer now. What do you want? He asked. I wanted to believe you respected me. But that ship's on fire. Elena, I saw the emails. About Marina. About Cyprus. About me. You're reacting emotionally. No. I'm acting. Strategically. Just like you taught me. Elena, don't be reckless. I smiled. I'm not. Then I hung up. I dropped the hard drive into my bag, zipped it shut, and walked out into the rain. The diner was half empty, mostly old men with newspapers and one teenager asleep in a booth. Victor sat with his back to the wall, hands folded. Tea untouched. You look well, I said. I look tired. You always did. He gestured to the seat across from him. I slid in, placed the hard drive on the table between us. No encryption? He asked. Basic. You'll break it in 10. I'll break it in 5. He didn't touch it. Tell me why. I'm not asking for a hammer, I said. Just your eyes. He looked at me, really looked. Why now? They made It personal. It's always personal, Elena. No. Before it was business. Pressure, lies, gray areas. This, I tapped the drive, is rot. He nodded once. What am I looking for? Transfer schedules routed offshore. Vendor chains rerouted mid-quarter. 3 aliases signed approvals from ghost departments. Names? J. Loden. R. Carver. Marina's mentioned, but she's a shadow play. Pliable, he called her. Victor's jaw tightened. Elliot? Pulled the strings. Hid the knots. And you're handing me the rope. I'm showing you where the bodies are. He finally reached for the drive. Turned it once, slid it into his inner coat pocket. You realize what this means? I do. I won't protect you. I didn't ask you to. He studied me for a beat. You think this buries him? No. I think it exposes the roots. You're not seeking revenge. I'm done being erased. Victor exhaled through his nose. You always were. Precise. Still am. I'll need corroboration. You'll find it. He was arrogant. I remember, he said. He called me small once. You're not. No. Just quiet. He sipped his tea. Finally, I won't contact you again, he said, I figured. And if this burns, you'll be mentioned. I expect that. You still have access? No. Just memory. Memory's enough. I stood. Victor. He looked up, thank you. He nodded, slow and deliberate. Let me do the rest. Then he turned back to his tea like I'd never been there. The office was 2 rooms above a locksmith's, no signage, no receptionist. Just a name on paper, Lynn March Consulting, and an inbox that kept filling. New contract came through. Maribel said from her desk. Offshore logistics, 3-month retainer. Quiet client. Perfect, I said. She glanced up. Also, he's been calling. Elliot? 3 times today. No messages. Just hangs up. I smiled. Let him. She handed me a thin folder. They're watching the stock. Minor dip, but board chatter's upticking. I flipped it open. Third-party inquiry confirmed. Victor's fingerprints were everywhere, methodical, invisible. Did we hear from Raphael? I asked. He pinged. Front row seats. And a popcorn emoji. I nodded. Tell him we brought the butter. She laughed, slid her headphones back on. I opened the newswire. Adelanteca's investor memo used phrases like strategic review and leadership alignment. Beneath the spin, there was fear. The phone buzzed. Unknown number. I let it ring, then answered. Elena, Elliot's voice said, taut. I'm trying to reach you. You found me. Where are you? Not at your mercy. He paused. There's an inquiry. I heard. They're targeting finance, ops, audit chains. Sounds thorough. I need to know if I what? If you gave them something. You're asking the wrong person. Elena, try Victor. His breath caught. You spoke to Han? I had tea. Elena, if you think this helps you, I'm not looking for help. He lowered his voice. I can fix this. You can't even find the leak. I've narrowed it down, to half your board and 2 shell accounts. He went quiet. You built the house, Elliot, I said. I just opened the window. I trusted you. You used me. I promoted you. You replaced me before I even left the building. That wasn't personal. It is now. A beat. What do you want? He asked. I have it. You don't even exist anymore. Exactly. He hung up. I closed the laptop, leaned back. Maribel glanced over. That him? Yes. He sounds scared? Like a man trying not to drown while pretending he's swimming. She grinned. I like our version of irrelevance better. So do I. The inbox chimed again. Another client. Another name. Another step forward. The call came at midnight. This is Jessica Lynn, the voice said. Sorry for the hour. You're not sorry, I replied. No, she said. But I thought you'd pick up. I didn't answer. I'm writing a piece on Adelantec. She said. Not PR fluff. The real story. I'm not interested in an interview. You're part of the story. I was erased. Then why do they still flinch when I say your name? I let the silence stretch. I don't burn sources. She added, that's not what I'm worried about. You're worried about making it personal. It was personal. Then give me 1 sentence. Off the record. I exhaled. Some leaders don't fall. They rot quietly in their chairs. She didn't respond right away. Damn, she whispered, you said off record. I meant it. The line clicked off. 3 days later, the article dropped, the glass thrown, inside the crisis at Adelantec. It was clean. Surgical. Not one quote attributed to me. But I saw my fingerprints, buried in the sourcing, the angles, the trail of rot traced right to Elliot's desk. The phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered. Did you read it? Jessica asked. I saw. You recognize your line? I do. I couldn't use it. But it shaped the piece. It cut. That's what truth does. I smiled. You're good at this. I'm fair, she said. That's more dangerous. Elliot won't call me again. He already has 3 spokespeople contradicting each other. Perfect. Jessica paused. What do you want from this? Nothing, I said. Except to know the silence wasn't wasted. It wasn't. And if you ever do want a quote on record, I won't. Fair enough. A beat. It was an honor, Ms. Ward. It was strategy, Ms. Lynn. She laughed once. You're scarier than they said. Only to the ones who think they're untouchable. She hung up. I closed the blinds, poured a drink, and watched the inbox flood. Half the city suddenly remembered my name. I ignored them all, let Elliot rot in his chair. Quietly. Alone. Exactly as promised. The windows gleamed like they hadn't in years. The smell of ammonia clung to the air, crisp and chemical. I stood just beyond the lobby barrier, clipboard in hand, watching the crew in dark blue uniforms work in silence. Excuse me, the receptionist said, voice lowered. You requested this? I nodded. Standard clause. Public restitution rotations are at the discretion of the contracting party. She blinked. Of course. He appeared at exactly 9 a.m. Black gloves, company-issued polo, ID badge. Clipped to his collar, Elliot Grant, Level 2 technician. He kept his eyes down. That part wasn't in the clause. I waited until he started on the glass walls outside what used to be my office. Miss Ward, the supervisor said, nodding. We're set for full surface treatment and interior polish. Excellent. I'd like that frame scrubbed thoroughly. Top corners collect dust. The man scrubbing paused. Didn't look up. Just adjusted his grip on the sponge. Make sure he uses the squeegee on the inside, too, I added. Yes, ma'am. I stepped closer. Morning, Elliot. His jaw twitched. Ms. Ward. Careful, I said. You missed a streak. He wiped it again. Is this what you wanted? He asked. No, I said. This is what you earned. I could have fought it. You did. And lost. He scrubbed harder. The gloves creaked. You're enjoying this. I'm present for it. That's enough. He turned toward me, slow. You don't get it. I do. No, you don't. I built that company on fraud. With arrogance. And a lot of bleach to hide the mold. You think you won. I didn't play to win, I said. I played to remember who I was before you turned my name into currency. He held my gaze. I made mistakes. You weaponized trust. I'm still standing. Barely. And on my time. He looked away. They made me clean this floor twice last week. They missed a spot. He flinched. Just once. You had everything, I said. Access. Power. Me. And you burned it all thinking no one would notice the smoke. He said nothing. I lowered my voice. You wrote I was useful. Until I wasn't. Remember that? He nodded. Slow. Turns out, I said, I'm still useful. He went back to scrubbing. I watched him work for a moment longer, then turned to the supervisor. The baseboards look neglected. And the brass fixtures haven't been touched. We'll take care of it. I know you will. I signed the clipboard, handed it back. Behind me, Elliot kept wiping, face tight, silent. I didn't say goodbye. Just walked out into the sunlight. A job well done. She was already waiting when I arrived. Corner. Booth, 2 mugs on the table, no smile. Her blazer was gone, replaced by a soft gray sweater that made her look younger. Or maybe just less polished. I didn't think you'd come, she said. I didn't think you'd ask. Marina nodded, folded her hands. I quit. I figured. You're 3 weeks past the honeymoon. It was never a honeymoon. No, I said. It never is. She exhaled. He told me I reminded him of you. He tells every woman that. Makes it feel flattering the first time. Her lips twisted. He told me I had good instincts. He meant obedient instincts. I didn't see it at first. No one does. The waitress came. I ordered black coffee. Marina had tea. She barely touched it. I read the article, she said. I didn't write it. But it's you. Pieces. He's unraveling, she said. Desperation looked sloppy on him. It always did. He just hid it better. Marina studied me. Were you ever loyal to him? I was loyal to the version of him I thought I owed something to. She nodded. He said you were too ambitious. He hated that I wasn't scared. He was scared of you. Good. The silence between us stretched but didn't sag. I almost stayed, she admitted. Just to prove I could outplay him. Don't. He writes the rules in pencil. And burns the paper. That why you didn't warn me? I wasn't asked. You could've. No, I said. You needed to learn the way I did. She stared down at the table. I thought you hated me. I didn't care about you. That's different. But now? I sipped my coffee. Now, you're no longer useful to him. That makes you real. She flinched, just slightly. You think I was naive. You were. It's not a sin. But it's dangerous. Only if you stay that way. She hesitated. Do you think I'm like you? No, I said. But you could be. That a compliment or a threat? It's a map. She laughed once. You're not going to tell me what to do next, are you? I'm not your mentor. Then why did you come? Because I remember what it felt like to walk away with your pride in one hand and nothing in the other. Marina's voice softened. So what do I do? You learn. You watch. And next time someone hands you a crown, check for rust. She didn't reply. She just nodded. We sat in silence for a moment. Women with matching scars, different exits. As I stood, she said, thanks. I paused. Don't thank me. Just keep your eyes open. Then I left her there. Not an enemy. Just another survivor. *******. Victor's text was brief, finalized. No appeals. Closure confirmed. No emojis. No fanfare. Just that quiet precision I'd come to appreciate. I stared at the screen a moment, then set the phone down beside the contract. The office was quiet. Maribel had already left. Outside, the sky was dimming, the city wrapping itself in the hum of a late Wednesday. My client sat across from me, navy suit, leather portfolio, smile like a negotiation, but softer. The legal cleared last night, he said. We're greenlit. I saw. We wanted to wait until it was all clean before finalizing. You understand. I always understood. He glanced at the pen in my hand. Mont Blanc. Nice. A gift, I said, from? Someone irrelevant. He didn't ask again. I flipped to the last page, checked the signature line, scopes. Aggressive, he said. You sure you're ready for that? I don't do soft entries. He nodded. That's why we chose you. Elliot used to wine and dine us. Fly us out. Pitch and posture. Did he offer anything real? Noise. Dressed well. And now? He smiled. Now we prefer silence that delivers. I clicked the pen open. He tilted his head. You want a moment? No. I want ink on paper. The stroke was smooth. Familiar. Just like the first time he handed it to me in his office and said, this is the kind of pen people use when they want to be taken seriously. Back then, I believed him. Now I knew better. I slid the folder across. It's done. He offered his hand. Welcome aboard. I shook it. Let's get to work. As he left, my phone buzzed again. And Victor, he won't ever know where it came from. Just how it ended. I typed back. That's all I wanted. I stood, tucked the pen back in its velvet case, and placed it in the drawer. Not as a trophy. Just a tool Maribel would lock up tomorrow. The client onboarding would start Monday, tonight. I walked out into the cold, coat sharp, hands empty. But not unarmed. Never again. The glass looked different now. Cleaner. As if someone finally noticed the smudges that used to smear across the second floor corner, right where my desk had been. I paused at the crosswalk. No one looked up. Suits passed in both directions, newer faces, different tempo. I waited for the light to change. I didn't plan the walk. It just happened. Late afternoon, between meetings. My name wasn't on the building anymore. It never had been. But now, not even the echo remained. When the signal changed, I stepped forward. No hesitation. Just forward. Inside, the receptionist, young, blonde, probably named something clean and bright like Lexi, laughed at something on her screen. A courier dropped a parcel at the desk. The doors didn't open for me. I didn't try. Anything familiar? Someone asked beside me. I turned. Raphael, how long were you following me? I wasn't. I was here. Lunch with someone in legal. He gestured with a to-go cup. Spotted you on the curb. I didn't expect to run into anyone. Didn't expect to run into you, he said. You look different. I am. He studied me. You okay? I'm more than okay. He nodded. Victor sent you the final packet? Sealed, signed, archived. No appeal? None. We stood in silence, watching the building breathe, people in and out. A man exited, shouting into a headset. Marina's replacement, maybe. Or Marina. Repackaged. Want to go in? Rafa asked. No, why not? I'm not her anymore. Elena? I glanced at him. That name doesn't open doors anymore. He smirked. Doesn't need to. I didn't come to be seen. I know. I looked up at the corner window. They replaced the blinds. He laughed. Probably easier than explaining the scratches you left in the glass. I never scratched anything. You left a mark. Same thing. Another pause. You want to get coffee? He asked. Not the old place, somewhere new. No, I said. But thank you. You leaving town? No. Just the past. Rafa adjusted his glasses. They still talk about you, you know. I don't. He tilted his head. You sure you don't want to be remembered? I was never trying to be remembered. I was trying to be free. He held out his cup. To freedom, then. I touched mine to his. To freedom. He turned. To leave. Take care, whoever you are now. I smiled. I will. I kept walking. Past the building. Past the glass. Past the old name, and I didn't look back. ****. I wake at 5:43 without an alarm. I don't miss the sound. The morning is clean, structured. Coffee brewed by the time the kettle stops humming. Calendar synced across devices. My phone buzzes once, client in Tokyo confirming delivery, ahead of schedule. Good. By 7 o'clock, I'm on my second call. She's on already? The man on the other end asks, always, his assistant says before I can speak. I smile. Let's keep it brief. I've got 14 minutes. He chuckles. You run a tight ship. I don't. Let it drift. We review the pitch deck. 2 red lines. 1 clause I don't let through. He doesn't argue. We hang up at 7:14 on the dot. At 7:15, Maribel walks in, holding a stack of folders and a cinnamon roll she won't finish. They're calling you efficient, she says. They always do. Also, insightful. And, she raises an eyebrow, a little intimidating. I don't look up. Good. That means they don't know me yet. She laughs. What time's the Zurich check-in? 10. You want me to block out the noon hour again? No. Push the briefing. Slot in the equity review instead. Maribel blinks. They'll panic. Let them. They shouldn't have buried the variance report. Noted. She turns, then glances back. You look good, by the way. I feel like myself. They can tell. I open the next file. By noon, 3 projects are moving. 1 client wants exclusivity. Another sends a thank you note with a contract 5 pages longer than what I proposed. The bonus line is bolded. At 12:43, my private line rings. A voice says, I heard about you from Langstrom. Said you were, what did he say, a scalpel with a memory. I tap my pen once. Sounds accurate. You take new clients? Depends. On? Whether you plan to lie to me in the first 3 weeks. A pause. Then, I don't. Then we can talk. By 2 o'clock, Maribel knocks again. Mail. I flip through the stack. 1 glossy envelope stands out. Gold trim. No return address. I open it slowly. Inside, a formal invitation. Awards gala. Recognition for leadership in corporate restructuring. I snort. Drop it into the shred pile. They're slow learners. At 3:30, I walk the floor. Team heads up, voices crisp, decisions moving like current. Nobody waits for permission. I build it that way. At 4:12, someone new stops me near the kitchen. I've heard a lot about you, she says, half apologetic. All of it true? I reply, most say you're intimidating. I don't smile unless it's earned. She laughs. I'm learning a lot. Good. Keep your eyes open. I walk away. By 6 o'clock, the office clears. I stay. Not out of habit, out of choice. I'm not chasing ghosts. I'm not trying to prove I belong. I belong. I pack my bag, power down the screen, and turn off the lights. Outside, the city still rushes. But inside me, there's only calm and power. Mine. ***.